It's your brand. It's your eponymous name, Stuart Trevor.
That's it. Everybody just said, we just want a Stuart Trevor brand. And they're like, please, will you come up with something new? Some people are like, when I was a kid, I used to buy from Weiss. Then when I got a bit older, I used to buy from All Saints. And then I used to buy from Bollinger & Trevor. And then I realized, you've been dressing me my whole life. Why don't you do another brand? And I was like, the last thing the world needs is another clothing company. Why don't we do a clothing company that doesn't produce any clothes?
So let's just dive in and talk about this particular show. I think it holds so much power for many different reasons. This show, you can see the mental health, the beauty and the luxury, the brashness. It tells this complex story.
Here is everyday condemned. The man.
This is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're in the studio. We've got Tokyo James.
Hey.
And Mikey.
Yes,
Popped by.
Yes.
I want to go back to the current collection. The Modern Man.
Yes, the modern man, Ogidi Okuri. It was actually strong man, but from the black perspective. It's not to say that there's not toxic masculinity in other races.
Of course.
There's a strong man regardless of what race, what ethnicity you are, what's your sexuality, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Even within the gay community, there is toxic masculinity
Right.
that exists and is perpetuated out there globally. Like if it's not from body shapes, where the gay man is only supposed to be chiseled, tall.
Not chiseled.
Yeah. It's like
Adonis.
24/7.
Yeah.
It's all of these things.
I got a sense of a little bit of volatility or anger out of that collection.
I love her. She can read in between
You
the
get
lines.
into free art.
You really
How do
can.
you translate this to identity? I know you're talking about this, but to me, fashion is used as a second skin, as an identity, as a social belonging, as a standard. There's all this nuance and meaning encoded in language behind fashion.
I remember being introduced to voguing by watching Willie at the Palladium. It must have been 1986 or 87. I became a new wave voguer back then. We were the first two to take voguing to Europe internationally. It was Willie and I.
The topic of the show today is the Dior Mumbai show that took place recently. So India, from a country perspective, from a fashion perspective, is really interesting.
So it was a great thing for the Dior show to finally happen in India because, as you said, that India is such a big, fashion economy. But, people don't know that. From a commercial point of view, from the design point of view, we have never had that access towards the globe.
I think from Dior, it checks all the boxes in terms of doing it right, the storytelling, the way it should have been told. From time immemorial, I think that French fashion, there's so many, I think it's been 17th century that tailors from Europe's royal courts used to source textiles from the subcontinent. And it was always called as French fabrics and French embroidery, but it was actually outsourced in India. This has been happening since forever, but it's only now when the rest of the world is suddenly like, oh, India produces really good garments.
And yes, Dior doing a show in India is actually a very big thing. I don't know. I actually feel, so much of, pride of being an Indian because such a big luxury brand is coming to India. And, the people who make their clothes, yes, people from India, people from the villages, they actually do make these clothes, they do the embroidery and stuff, and people, when it comes to mine, the weavers of Kerala, they're actually making my fabric with the hand.
The last piece of the runaway was half painting and half dress. So the model walked through the painting and the painting dropped on her and creating this silhouette, this dress.
Amazing.
Yeah, crazy.
How did they auction it? Was it digital?
No, it was a lady screaming the price with a paddle. Nobody done that before.
$16,000 has been sold to you. Paddle 65 for $16,000 on the aisle.